Hey, it might have been the Rockets, but we have victory music tonight. We have victory music. Let's cue it.
Victory!
Here we go. All right, welcome to the Celtics live postgame show. Celtics just take down the Rockets. I mean, they were just playing with them by game's end, right? That was not a game we had to worry about. Maybe at the beginning of the game, we'd be like, oh man, are the Rockets taking a lead, so on and so forth? No, the Celtics just did what they needed to do, and you guys have probably heard me say it if you've been tuning in for these for a couple of years now. That is the sign of a team that, I don't want to call the Celtics a really good team or anything like that, but I want to at least say that, you know, if you are going to be a good team, if you're going to be a team that even has a hope and a prayer, right, of being sort of a contender, a team that's going to compete, you gotta handle business against the bad teams. And the Rockets are the baddest. They are so bad. They're the worst team. They look at times like they just give up on basketball. So, yeah, we're going to talk tonight about them beating the Rockets. And, you know, oh, well, it was just the Rockets. You can say that all day long because it's so true. But it's better than the Celtics, you know, going out there and winning by 6 or coming down to a Tatum game winner or something like that. The Celtics went out and just did what they needed to do. And that's sort of the result of any of the, and again, I'm still sort of hesitant and reluctant. I shouldn't even say sort of, but reluctant and hesitant to even put the Celtics near this conversation. I want to see more. But any good team in the league, any top of their, towards the top of their conference type team in the league would handle the Rockets like this tonight. And the Celtics did that. So that's at least a good sign. But don't get my words twisted. Don't say that I'm putting the Celtics in that sort of top of the conference talk because they beat the Rockets. I'm not saying that. Listen close. I'm not saying that. But let's jump into the post game. Welcome, everyone. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new. Like the stream up. I don't know how long we'll be live tonight. We have an early morning doing the NBA picks tomorrow, like 4 a.m. So give myself a womp for that. Really looking forward to that. Wiping the crusties out of my eyes. But let's jump into the post game tonight. We'll get into the chat in just a second. But let's flip over to the box score here. Again, if you're just joining, Celtics take down the Rockets right here, 108-90. And again, it's the Rockets. We can say that. We can say that even as Celtics fans. We get it. But let's jump into the box score. Jason Tatum, 30.6 boards, 1 of 9 from 3. Don't love to see that, but you like to see his 10 of 22. The shot selection was a little bit better. Jason Tatum now has, 30 straight points, and I don't have it in front of me, 4 straight games or something like that. So he's definitely coming on. Good to see Jaylen Brown back. I don't know if Jaylen Brown really played like the best game, right? But I will say that, you know, he went on a stretch there. We hit a few threes in a row, ended with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and it was kind of good to see him at least get back involved, right? Like, you look at the end box score and you say, okay, Jaylen was involved. I don't know if he truly was. Like, that was a quick 19 almost, but we'll take it. And then we have Dennis Schroeder, another big game out of him, 18 points on the Rocket side of things. This is an ugly box score. You had Armani Brooks, their leading scorer. Then you had Kenyon Martin Jr. Look at their starters. Did their starters' points even add up to Jason Tatum's? It did, but not by much. But all right, guys, let's get to some of the chat here. And again, if you're just joining us, my general take on this game is that, you know, obviously we can't celebrate and cause a parade because we took down the Rockets. Like, no one's that brain dead. But it's good to see the Celtics team beat up on a bad team. Because that's what you're supposed to do here. So let's jump into it right here. Levi says, great team win, and I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. Yeah, I mean, aside from them slipping against the Thunder and making that a closer game, like, they go and spank the Lakers. They were spanking the Thunder. They spanked the Rockets. Like, they're doing what they're supposed to do. That Lakers stuff is crazy last night with LeBron, Isaiah. Like, that looked like he was possessed. He wanted to rip LeBron's head off and anyone else in his way. I'm sure everyone's seen it. That was a crazy sequence. LeBron, I think, suspended now, too, for that elbow to the eye. Birkin says, Romeo is gradually ramping up confidence. League on notice. I mean, I know Birkin is like the #1 Romeo guy. The one thing I can say in a realistic mindset about Romeo is that he's going out there and doing something he's never done before in his career, which is actually contribute. And I'm not saying that in a negative way whatsoever. It's like he goes out there and positive things happen around him. He's getting good rebounds. He's playing good defense, hitting his open shots. That's huge. That was one of the things we talked about on the podcast, on the show, on Twitter, everywhere, saying what needs to happen for the Celtics team to be, better next year when we're talking in the offseason. And it was Aaron Nesmith or Romeo Langford stepping up. They need one of these guys to step up because they did go out and get some free agents, but how can some of the in-house talent step up? Romeo has done that. I'm not ready to crown him and say that, he's ready to put the league on notice, but I know that that's just Birkin's way of going about it. Gear saying victory. Mitch is saying the Rockets are bad, not going to lie. I mean, yeah. We cannot deny that. We cannot deny that whatsoever. Garrett saying good old-fashioned ass whipping. Yeah, that's the thing. And again, I might sound like a broken record tonight, but that's like such the biggest sort of glaring piece of evidence that I get out of this game is that this Celtics team took care of business tonight, right? Home floor, you're playing good basketball. You finally get Jason Tatum, you finally get Jaylen Brown, you get Robert Williams back. The Rockets, who don't even like basketball anymore. The Rockets don't like basketball. I'm convinced. They all just want to put up points and get in fights with each other. They don't care about basketball anymore. If they come in and play you tight or play you close or play you hard, all of a sudden, even if the Celtics get a win, we're talking about, a win's a win. No, this is actually a victory because the Celtics did exactly what they were supposed to do. And that was absolutely pummel the worst team in the league. And that's great because, again, I'm not putting the Celtics towards the top of the conference with some of these teams that I do believe will be there at the end, like the Nets or the Bucks. But this result is what those teams would have done to the Hawks. So it's one, glass half full way of looking at it, but I am taking a little bit out of this because it wasn't just a scratching and clawing your way to a win against the Rockets. It was a ass whooping, in Garrett's words. Birkin says we'll crush the Nets, put the league on notice, book it. The Nets, did the Nets lose tonight? No, they only won by 5, but they were losing to Cleveland for a while there. Mitch saying, and I like a couple of Rockets players, but the talent on that team is suspect. The talent on that team, so they do have some young guys, right? Obviously, we didn't see Porter Jr. tonight, but Christian Wood I like, Jalen Green, sure, but those guys, I don't know if they're ever going to be able to play together. I mean, they have John Wall too; he just doesn't play. But I don't know if they're going to ever be is Jalen Green going to be able to ever play with Kevin Porter Jr. Or are they just too similar / too different at the same time? I don't know. They just don't have a very well comprised team. And Daniel Tice finished with 7 points tonight, the former Celtic. We took his over in points. It was 7.5. And if you guys watched that game, which I'm assuming you did, Daniel Tice should have had that over easily. Daniel Tice, 9 shots tonight. He was second in the team on the Rockets, and he actually missed a foul shot, so he screwed our bet there. But, hey, it's all right. I'll take a Celtics win over that any day of the week. Ben is saying W. Ren saying Brown finally back. Ubi says, I feel like finally we don't have to worry about betting them against bad teams. That's true. So that's still the thing. And again, Broken Record Ev is out in full force tonight because, I'm going to say it again, they took care of business like you're supposed to do against a bad team. I didn't like, what was it, the Celtics 12.5 point favorites tonight? I didn't like that number. I didn't take that number. But why not? Right? They go out there and do it. They win by, what is this? They win by 18. Is this Celtics team ready to stomp on bad teams? It's not like that's going to get you anywhere, but it's way better than the alternative. AC saying Jalen was cooking. Birkin saying Jalen is warming up. So that's the thing. That's the thing, right? So to me, Jalen wasn't totally involved, but he kind of looked healthy, right? He looked healthy in that short stretch. They didn't need Jaylen Brown to go out there and drop, 40 or even 25 or anything tonight. They didn't need that. You're playing the Rockets. It's good to at least see him go out there and look like he has a little bounce in his step, get to the hoop a couple times, hit a couple back-to-back threes, that type of thing. So definitely promising from Jalen, but I do think that points looks a little bit inflated. Think about it. Before those 2 threes that he hit in a matter of 10 seconds, if those don't happen, which obviously that's such a hypothetical, he has 13 points tonight, right? So Jalen's warming up. I like that. I think he was cooking, yeah. But I don't think we really saw the full unleashed Jalen tonight, obviously. AC saying, I'm lost without Jabari, not even getting garbage time. I don't get it either. This guy, they release him, then sign him to a better deal. Why isn't he getting any play? right? Like you get Bruno Fernando, Sam Hauser, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, these guys, and Peyton Pritchard and Aaron Eastman, I guess in the same boat, they check in, and as Cantor played 11 minutes tonight, it's weird why Jabari doesn't play. And I say it again, like, is he that bad at defense? Is he that bad at defense that you can't even play him? Because when he's played, he's made some buckets. I don't know. It is wild. It is absolutely wild to see him out there and just not getting, or see him, I guess, active and not play even when you're blowing a team up by 20 points. Guys, if you do want to support the show tonight, make sure to drop a super chat. Much appreciated. Let's see. Sensei says Brown got to make his teammates better, especially when facing tougher opponents. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think this is a game where you needed Brown to do anything. It's still fair. I think that's also fair with Tatum. Like, if they do want to be a catalyst in this league, like, those are going to be things that they need to step up and start doing. We thought that was going to happen this year. I don't think we've totally seen that all that much this year. So yeah, I mean, I can't deny it. I just don't know if tonight's the game where it's like, Brown didn't pass enough for the type of thing. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's a fair point. It's just, I think that coming back from an injury against the Rockets, you don't really need to do too much. He played 22 minutes. Like, no gripes with Brown's like passing or anything like that for me. Levi saying LeBron deserves more than 1 game suspension. That was ridiculous. It was so wild to see that, like, and it didn't look bad in slow motion. You watch it in real time, it actually looks like he clocks him. And then I'm thinking, what the hell is, like, Isaiah Stewart? Like, why is he freaking out so much? And I see his eye, and his eyes exploded. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I didn't think he got hit that hard or anything like that. And then LeBron, you know, obviously tossed. And then, like, Isaiah, he just looked like he saw red. No pun intended with that. Like, he was just absolutely running at everyone. Like, there was a coach that got in front of him twice to try and stop him, and the coach got bullied and trucked twice. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's keep going in the chat here, but that LeBron situation is so weird. Like, and that doesn't, I mean, I don't like LeBron just because I'm a Celtics fan, but that doesn't even strike me as like a LeBron thing to do, right? Like, that was so weird to me. Hey, here we go. We got Garrett donating $5 through Super Chat. Shout out to you, Garrett. Appreciate that, my man. Guys, love the support there. Thank you very much, Garrett. Oh boy, every time that happens, I lose my place in chat, though. But you guys know I already stick at chat, so what's the difference? But shout out one last time to Garrett. Way to go, man. Thank you very much. AC says, I do wonder what the mental psyche is for Nesmith and Pritchard. Only getting garbage minutes has to affect their morale. I mean, it does. It didn't look like it tonight. Pritchard came in there and hit a bunch of shots, right? But, yeah, no, I think 100% you're looking at 2 guys that are seemingly like they had some promise, and I think that if they stick with this rotation, you're going to see those guys kind of get worse and worse. And maybe I'm wrong, right? But, like, it doesn't help that you're hoping to take a step up and you're getting splinters in your ass sitting on the bench, right? So I hope that is something that changes, but, like, that's going to hurt. Like, that's going to hurt them. It is. Peyton Pritchard, who we thought had some serious promise, you know, they're starting 2 guards a lot, and they need a point guard off the bench, and they're figuring out ways to, like, rotate in Smart, Schroeder, get Tatum to play a little guard, or I guess bring the ball up, I should say, not play guard. It's like, why are you avoiding Pritchard so much? So I don't know. I think it definitely affects them because Nesmith is a guy that looks like he needs rhythm, and he has had no rhythm yet. Tonight's a little bit different, so I don't want to be too mean to good old Aaron, but he looks like a guy that cracks the backboard with his shot sometimes because it goes in, it goes up so hard. Mitch saying Nesmith's not good enough defensively to get consistent minutes. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like, I do agree, right? Like, I think that both those guys have some lacks and lapses in their game right now that you're not comfortable playing them. But I do always go back to well, then how do you expect to get them better? And I do think that that's so valid. Like, you're not going to want to take Jaylen Brown minutes away or Schroeder minutes away and play Nesmith, right? But, like, you have Jaylen Brown comes back, Josh Richardson's out, so is that, like, just an even swap, or could they have given some Nesmith minutes? I don't know. It's almost like they're kind of writing those 2 guys off, right? Because it's not like we're that early in the year anymore. Like it seems like it's early in the year, but we're 18 games into the year. Like, we're almost a quarter of the way done this season. I think that this rotation's starting to iron out, and those 2 guys aren't in it. Evan's saying, what's going on? He says, trade Nesmith. I mean, he's not helping right now. AC says, from NBA Central, Jason Tatum over his last 4 games, 33.5 points, 8 rebounds, 3.8 assists per game, 50% from the field, 38% from three, and 90% foul shot. I love to see that. Matt says, would you like to see Coach sprinkle in and end of the bench with 4 to 5 minutes in the first half at least? Yeah, I mean, maybe. And especially this is the type of game where you try that out, right? This is the type of game where you get some run from Nesmith, Pritchard, Jabari, those type of things. You can't really complain after a win because, hey, they went out there, the rotation worked tonight, yada, yada, yada. But I would like to see what we got out of those guys, I guess. And these are the only games where you're going to do that. Mitch saying Jalen Green is a good scorer. He will get better. It's the other facets of his games that will determine how good he is. Yeah, he flies too. I see his like burst and his explosion acceleration is absolutely crazy. Jalen easily could have had 25, 30 if he played. Yeah, no, I see Jaylen Brown, that is. I agree. I'm just saying I don't want to. I think that it's like this is a good ease of Jaylen Brown back into the lineup here. AC is talking about that meeting the Celtics had. The Celtics are 8-3 since then, and it's true. I think like it's funny because we talked on this show. Woj came out, maybe it was Shams, I don't know. One of them was like it was an unproductive meeting or some BS like that, right? Looks pretty productive so far. Did that work? Did Marcus Smart, calling out Tatum and Brown, did that work? I don't know. The facts would say it did, but yeah. I mean, it is funny that the most reliable sources in the NBA called that it was a unproductive meeting. And this is what we got after the fact, right? Mitch saying, all I know is Smart, Schroeder, Tatum all played after that meeting. JT, this is from Evan saying, JT is starting to play like he should, and I think he should still get in the post more and make some smart shots, but I'm not going to shut on him too much. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like, I think I said this on the show, right? Like, I was very reluctant to harp on Jason Tatum and say he was playing poorly. And even though he was, I was admitting that he was doing it now. But in terms of like, oh, people were coming in the chat being like, trade Tatum. He's a diva. He's a prima donna, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait, because he's so good that he will prove you wrong. And, he's proving a lot of the people that said that this guy stinks at the beginning of the year. Like, people are literally being like, oh, it's Jalen's team and all that. That could be true. But the Tatum slander, like, I just had a feeling he was going to prove some people wrong. I do agree with Evan here. I mean, my name's Evan too, but that's probably why we're agreeing here. But I do like Tatum closer and closer to the basket. There's times and places for his threes, but you guys know my take on him. I think I've said it multiple times, is that he was 1 of 9 from 3 tonight. Stop shooting threes then. He's not a shoot out of your shooting slump type shooter. He's a scorer. He can score out of us. I'm fine with that. Get to the hoop. You're not having a good night. Keep taking layups. Keep taking layups. Keep getting to the foul line. I don't love the 1 of 9 from 3 like that. That's tough. Mitch saying everyone played better after that meeting, those 3 guys. Yeah, definitely. Matt is saying, I feel like an 8-man rotation, up 20 plus points. You need to incorporate some end bench players. Couldn't agree more. Mitch saying also Eric Gordon needs to get out of Houston on a better team. I have heard that he's been on like the trade market and everything like that for so long, and he just sits there and just, maybe he doesn't want to win or anything like that too, because he should. I think that he should 100% be like somewhere else. Like, that's the guy that is wasting his last few sort of contributable years on this Houston team. Let's see, Phil saying, hey, Ev, do you think PP and Nesmith get sent to the G League? I don't know. See, that's so weird to me because they have shown and shined on the big stage. You know what I mean? The Peyton Pritchard one's weirder to me because the guy was playing last year, right? And now he just doesn't. So it's really, really weird. It's a super, super weird dynamic there. Kane's saying, how about sharp shooting Grant Williams? I've never said anything bad about Grant Williams. You guys know that. You guys know that. Ben saying, how do you feel about Grant Williams this season, my guy? Never said anything bad about Grant Williams. There's no video, there's no articles, there's no blogs, there's nothing that can prove I don't like Grant Williams. No, I like his season so far. How can I? And I think I've always called it like it was with Grant Williams. He's having a good year. He's only shooting when he should. I think he's playing the appropriate amount of minutes based on how much he's contributing. I can't complain about Grant tonight. Aaron saying, them Bulls folded. It felt like it was a trap once the lines went to 1 before it started, so I just went with the Nets money line. Oh, well, then you got that one, because I took the Bulls tonight. So what he's saying, I thought Nesmith was supposed to be the best shooter in the last draft. So am I remembering this wrong, that Nesmith played like 14 college games too? Are we starting to think, and that maybe I'm totally off there, but is that just like, is there a possibility that maybe he just had like a good 14-game stretch, a 2-week stretch where he had a good shooting college career? Kane saying, as much as everyone hated on Grant, I never did. I mean, that's good. Like, and I like that. And I also will say, you got to ride the highs with Grant and the lows with Grant if you're going to stick with him, right? Because as much as well as he's playing right now, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played too. So I want this Grant Williams for the rest of the year. But this is kind of what turned me off from Grant Williams originally, is that he had a few good games, and he's had more than a few. I give you that. But he's had a few good games, and everyone's like, oh, this guy is a great player, and blah, blah, blah. It's like they put him on a pedestal. Let's just not put him on a pedestal here. You know, let's not put him on a pedestal. Ben's donating $5 through Super Chat. He says, keep it up, bro. Always love the content, man. It's enjoyable. Appreciate you, Ben. Thank you very much for that, guys. Appreciate the Super Chats tonight, seriously. And if you are in here and you haven't liked the stream yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. We're here live after every Celtics game, even though we did miss a couple of them. We had a rough weekend. Yeah, guys, appreciate that. Ben, shout out to you for that $5. Definitely appreciate that, man. Thank you. Let's see. XV3 saying Hernan Gomez and second-round pick for Terrence Ross. I'd probably do that. And I think Juancho could do something on this team, but there's no place for him. Kane saying he's more than serviceable. Evan saying I'd like to see JT's assist numbers go up. Yeah, and same thing with Brown. That's their next step, but that's not the easiest step to take, right? Brian saying that one trade for Wall and Wood would be amazing. Yeah, I still think that getting Christian Wood on this team, I'd love to see it. I think he's really good. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think it's really good. Brian saying, is this going to be a long stream? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know how much longer we're going. What time is it right now? 10:15 where I am, meaning I'm up and at 'em in less than 6 hours. Yikes. 4 a.m. alarm going off. I'm going to want to go like this. AC saying the ball movement the last 5 to 6 games has been stellar. That's how you beat teams. And that's true. The assists didn't really come through tonight, but I guess that's probably because I don't know why actually. It looked like they had a lot more assists going than they did. They finished with 19 assists. Not gonna kill you, but I would have thought it was a little bit more than that. But the ball movement is true. Like there's times where Tatum was driving and I'm like, oh, he's gonna shoot in a contested layup. That's fine. He's our superstar. And then he fires out to Romeo or something on the wing, and Romeo hits it. I'm like, whoa, did Tatum just defer to Romeo? Let's see. Sports guys saying Bucks going 7-3. Celtics 10-8. Tatum and Brown would be scary. Game F team. I can't type. I'm just too fired up. No worries, my man. Let's see. Brian saying Jay Rich and Nesmith for Rubio. I mean, I don't hate that, but I do think Jay Rich is going to be pretty good on this team in the long run. You guys know that I think that. Sports guy saying we lack is a true point guard. That's why that sort of gap that they have there in that void that maybe we thought Pritchard or something. That's why I would probably say yes. If you can get a legit, I don't know about Rubio. I think Rubio is good, but I don't know. It's tough. I like Jay Rich. I think I'm a little bit biased towards him. I think he's going to be good for this team. But if you could fill one of these things that the Celtics really need, like a true shooter, like I'm talking like a legit shooter or a true point guard, I think that could definitely help. AC says, I do have a concern about the depth right now. Right now, Nesmith, Pritchard, Cantor, Fernando, Parker, these are all guys that aren't going to help. And that's true. And we saw some of the issues at the big man, or even when Brown is out, the issues at the guard. Some guys had to step up, and you want more. Like when one of your main guys goes down, you don't want to be like, oh, well, we have one guy that's going to be able to step up. No, you want to have a cast of characters that like one of them is probably going to step up. It doesn't have to be the same guy every single time, but you have enough talent on your team that the next guy can step up. And if that guy doesn't step up, then you have another guy that's pretty comparable. The Celtics don't really have that right now. Brian saying Grant for MIP, most improved. Phil saying Nets, Celtics, Nets Wednesday, let's go. I know that's going to be a great one. Brian saying we should have drafted Cole Anthony over Nesmith. That would be nice. Mitch saying I think Nesmith is talented, but it's hard for him to get better when both Brad and Ime don't play him enough. Right. There's no rhythm that he's going to build, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a rhythm in the making, right? Right? Like I don't look at Nesmith right now and his career path so far. I'm like, they're not even trying to carve out time for him. So it's I mean, I hope it changes too, but not right now. We don't see that. Brian saying trade Pritchard and Nesmith for Bol. I mean, wouldn't hate that. You get a big man, super potential filled. He doesn't really play maybe he isn't that good, but like you're trading two guys in that sense that, you know, you wouldn't even necessarily, you know, ever miss, I guess, unless the one of them turns into an absolute superstar or something like that. So, yeah, I don't hate that. Let's see. Mitch saying if Wall and Wood were on the Celtics, we would be a threat in the East. I think. Yeah, even just Wood. Like I'm big on him. Maybe I'm overhyping him, but I think that he's really good. He didn't have a great game tonight. Tonight he finished with only 4 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, 2 of 6 from the floor. Like he didn't have a good game tonight, but I think that he could flourish on a good team. Now I'm not saying the numbers would be the same. I think he is the guy that from being in Detroit and now in Houston, his numbers may be a little bit inflated, but I think he's very good. Aaron saying Bulls going out sad. Yeah, that was wrong side of that one tonight. We did have Karis LeVert's under in assists for plus odds, which was a great add to the ticket there. It kind of covers up for that. Brian saying, I wish we kept Moses Brown. Moses Brown does nothing for the Mavericks. Mitch counters. Brian saying Moses would be kind of better than Jay Rich. See, it's fair if you want to say that because people are banking on Moses being good, but Jay Rich is going to surprise so many people. I think he already has. Like, I think Celtics fans should be in on Jay Rich based on the last month of basketball. Right? He's scoring double digits off the bench. Playing great defense. I think people should be pleased with Josh Richardson so far. The only thing and a bit of credence I give to you there, Brian, is that, you know, if someone wants to say Moses Brown had all the potential in the world and, you know, they could have kept him for multiple years and everything like that, yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, who has more potential, Moses Brown or Jay Rich? Moses Brown. But in terms of right now, I think that Jay Rich is definitely going to help this team and is helping the team. Garrett saying they seem like they're having fun out there. We haven't seen that for a couple years, not for long periods at least. And I think it's still too short, right, Garrett? But you're right. Like they're having fun right now. Like Nesmith hits a 3 and the bench goes ballistic and they're happy. And Tatum, you know, dishes it to Romeo and they get excited. And when's the last time we saw Tatum go, you know, that stuff's gotten cut down severely. I do think that they're enjoying themselves out there a little bit more. And, you know, at least what does that do? Like, as much as we want to admit it, that's also going to as much as we don't want to admit it, that translates to enjoyably watching the game, right? Like, yeah, we shouldn't be like, oh, who cares if they're smiling? No. If your Celtics team is having fun on the screen, you're going to have more fun watching. And I think we're having more fun right now. AC saying, I love what Stevens has done so far, but more building to do. Really have a 7-8 man rotation, good for the playoffs, but not when you're trying to space minutes. Juancho is poor, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that a few of these guys, like, they don't have roles here. Like, I think you nailed it earlier. Like, Nesmith, Pritchard, Juancho, Bruno, even Jabari, like, Cantor. Like, these guys are all, like, not true role players, and they might need them if anyone goes down or anything like that. Mitch saying Pacers scored more than 100 points tonight. Phil saying, I just think both Pritchard and Nesmith should go to the G League to improve their development and get minutes since there's no G League last year. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I don't know what they do with those roster or anything like that. Like, I don't know what if that's contractually, I don't know the details, but like, I'm not opposed to them going and getting playing time, right? Because they're not going to be playing that much here. AC saying Jay Rich is an important player on this year's team. His defense and solid scoring is what they need, right? And that's what I think. So and again, I give total credit to the idea or point of, oh well, you know, Moses could have been good for this team. Yeah, I can't argue that. I will not argue that. I just think Jay Rich is better than people might crack him up to be. You know what I mean? Like the trade, even if you didn't like that trade, I think you probably like it a little bit more now than you probably originally did, I guess. Jay Rich should be growing on you because he has been playing good basketball. But anyways, guys, I hate to cut it short. I'll give myself a womp, but I am going to jump off. Half-hour stream, not too short, not too long. But we are going to jump off tonight. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys in the next stream. Hopefully this win streak keeps going. We got a tough opponent coming up. But let's keep eating here. Let's keep getting these wins. The Celtics team's looking better and better, and who knows what can happen. You know, I'm not ready to throw them and cast them towards the top of the conference right now. Let's just solidify ourselves as a playoff team right now, which I think they obviously are, and we'll take it from there. But I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.